Or even try to school ya. Oh no. We've got the mind of
9/1/2015. Attitude of gratitude. What you grateful for, family? You are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living. 9/1/2015. First, I give thanks for the creative source of this universe. And I give thanks to my mother, Shirley Hardy, my energetic angel guide. Greetings to you all in love and kindness. Thank you for tuning in and for sharing the good news from this show with family and friends. You are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living with Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks. They call me Dr. K. I'm a pioneering Nest Health bioenergetic practitioner and a conscious self-healthcare educator. I'm not a medical doctor of disease care, but a pioneering educator in the field of quantum health and healing, conscious self-health care. Right here on the airwave of Inner Light Radio, the healing frequency. And yes, family, you are listening to a live broadcast today. I'm the founder of the Arc of Self-Healing and Self-Help. Health Education for Longevity and Peace is a health wellness maintenance organization for the prevention of disease. We share information that illnesses are no longer seen as diseases. We now understand that we create cellular malfunctions that cannot be corrected by pharmaceuticals and unnecessary removal of organs and amputation of limbs from this divine body. For the daily care of our body, our living temple. The current paradigm in healthcare, the disease care model, is now seen as outdated and no longer a viable way to care for the well-being of the human body. You see, family, community, and friends, often it's in the seeming breakdowns that the greatest breakthroughs are born. Diseases are recognized as scrambled information, distortions in the human body fields, breakdown in physiology, oh yes, and also a part of a belief system. Yes, disease is a belief system created by the ways in which you choose to care for your human body. You see, family, it's not in the genes. They just don't turn themselves on and off. We are now learning and understanding that it's in how the genes are taught to express themselves by you, the individual, that makes you divinely, individually in charge of your human frame. You by yourself express how your cells work. Expanding our current state of awareness on healthcare with the new information on well-being gives you the opportunity to refine certain aspects of your lives, of ourselves, and our experiences, and become healthier and happier as a result. Oh yes, you are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living, and I'm broadcasting live from downtown Anacostia in Washington, D.C. The questions that I ask: are you ready to bury disease thinking? Are you, just you, are you ready to bury disease thinking? Are you ready to shift from a man-made mindset of human consciousness about healthcare? You see, we can quickly bring ourselves back into alignment with the most authentic part of ourselves and nurture ourselves back to our original state of being through our thoughts, our consciousness, our diet, our lifestyle, and having access to correct information. So are you ready? Are you ready to get radical about your health care? Health is consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. On this show, we share inspiring conversation, music, poetry, enlightened articles, interviews, and 100% we hold the space for you, for you to come on this show and share your transformation self-health care story. We want you to share with individuals how you took back control of your health care, how you and loving your divine being, your body now, and you're feeling good, and you're understanding that you don't need pharmaceuticals, that you can correct what's on in your body with the divine means and the divine ways. So you can email questions or comments today to innerlightradio@yahoo.com, innerlightradio@yahoo.com, or you can Facebook Brother Jamal with a comment or question. You can call in and share 310-928-7733, 310-928-7733. You must mute your phone. You are entering a live chat room, and I will invite you to join the conversation by your phone number or your Skype name. So once again, welcome to the Conscious Wellness Checkpoint. For some, it could be a choice point. So now it's time to check the pulse of your thoughts, your consciousness, and your actions, and get ready to write your own wellness plan. Joining me tonight on Heart to Heart Healthy Living is Rev.Judy Miller D. She is an internationally known metaphysical teacher and lecturer on medical intuition, spiritual healing, and the relationship between the body, mind, and spirit. She is the founder and president of the Mystery School, Inc. in Boulder, Colorado. And as an interfaith minister and longtime student in New Thought, as well as goddesses, Wiccan, and Gnosticism, and Native American tradition, Reverend.Judy, eclectic spiritual background serves as a strong foundational support for her writings and her teachings. We're going to have a conversation about her book, A Conversion from Mind to Soul. 3 steps to recognizing and bringing forth your soul's desire. Reverend.Judy will be joining us after we have our first commercial break. So family, community, and friends, our new listeners, thank you for joining us today on Heart to Heart Healthy Living. I have one goal, one purpose, one thought, one action, one vision, one movement, and one passion. To share information to empower all to rise above the fear of diseases. You see, family, it's time to embrace fear of diseases. It's time to give it that big old divine hug. Give disease that big old hug and hold it so tight. Hold that disease so tight that it vanishes from your heart and from your mind. We are assisting each other with information so that we can make conscious self-health care moves when making a choice about our health care. Mental observation view is essential for your success. I'm Karen Khadija Davis-Foulks, the one and only conscious self-health care educator, and you are tuned into Heart to Heart Health and Living on Inner Light Radio. We're going to start the conversation after we take this first station break with Reverend.Judy Miller D. Thank you all for tuning in.
Do you feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your Nest Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K. 202-248-7749. Visit the website forcelllife.com. The number 4 CELLLIFE.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation. 202-248-7749.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Woo! It's a good vibration. We have the golden light surrounding us today. Yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. Nest Feel Good Infoceuticals. Activate your body's healing potential. I want to thank Michelle for calling me this week and reminding me that on last week's show that I didn't choose a Feel Good Infoceutical. You don't need a Nest scan if you want to feel good. We have 17 Feel Good Infoceuticals, and that's informational medicine to direct your body's energy and your cells' productions to do the best job they can for you. So we're going to focus on source energy as we focus on source energy period for our life. Nest source energy. This can enhance your source energy available for physical activities. The source infoceutical also may be used when you're energetically depleted due to chronic illness, mental exhaustion, stress, toxic exposure, malnourishment, or poor breathing. Usually for enjoying sports and other physical activities. You can visit ConsciousSelfHealthcare.com and learn more about the Nest Feel Good Infoceuticals. We're going to focus on our deep breathing as we always do, as our guests share with us today. You want to put yourself in a meditative listening state. You want to focus with the energy of your crown chakra. As we hear this enlightening information, you want to know that you know what you know. You want to be anchored in what you know and let these words guide you into a greater understanding of taking responsibility for your own health care. We lost 2 giants this year, recently, James Earl Jones. And I want to say that I hear his voice all the time very clearly. And before I bring Rev.Judy on, I just want to say, and also we lost Dr. Wayne Dyer. And as I bring her on, I leave you with this quote from him. With everything that has happened to you, you can either feel sorry for yourself or treat what has happened as a gift. Everything is either an opportunity to grow or an obstacle to keep you from growing. You get to choose. It's about choice. Reverend Judy Miller D. It's about choice. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely.
I want to welcome you to Heart2Heart Healthy Living, and we're going to have this conversation about your book, A Conversion from Mind to Soul, 3 Steps to Recognizing and Bringing Forth Your Soul Desire. But it is all about choice. Is that right, Reverend?
I totally agree. That's my favorite word. I feel that's the greatest gift that we receive from our source. We get to choose how we think, how we create, what we speak, because I believe I was so inspired by your messages here, today, because it's exactly how I operate and how I think and what I teach. And yeah, just absolutely perfect. We can choose our health by saying, thank you, God, for my health, or we can choose our suffering by being a victim and only speaking of our suffering. It's our choice.
It's always a choice, and we have to recognize that we may be living in some belief systems that is no longer serving us, and we can create new choices. So, your book, A Conversion from Mind to Soul, what inspired you to write this book, and what is like the main focus of the book? I'm going to be straight honest with you. I haven't really gone through the book. I've just been feeling the energy from the book and skimming through the book, and I'm going to enjoy this conversation when you sharing with me about the book.
Oh, well, yes. There was a lot of spiritual inspiration. And over a period of time, I got backing way up to when I was a child. From the time I was a child, I always felt I was supposed to be writing a book. And so through many years, of course, I was feeling that need and wondering, what is it supposed to be about? I attempted many different things, and they fell apart because I was always in my head. And just like the book title, in regards to converting from our thoughts, our mind, which is not who we are, but is filled with thoughts, to the soul of the truth of who we are. And as on my spiritual journey then, I was moving and learning and becoming more one with my soul, meaning, of course, I was becoming more and more connected and one with the divine energy by any name. And so there came a time then I would say, several years before the book came out, actually, probably really focused on the beginning, feeling spiritually led. It maybe in 2005 or sooner, but by that time I had learned to follow guidance, to listen to the messages. When we do that, when we shut down our thoughts and allow information to come in from the divine source, not from the negativity of the world that I call that dark side ego, but from the source, I began receiving such profound information and guidance. And so I would turn this over then when I would feel, as I would be writing, I'd turn it over to God, and I would just say, write through me, speak through me, tell me what you want, tell me how to even set up the book. The format of the book is the original way Source told me how to set it up. The book is filled with miracles, but its focus is very much on changing the way we operate in the world, identifying the egoic energy that wants to keep us down, that destroys this planet. We can see that for ourselves. It can destroy our family. It destroys our body. And so the book really, with Source's direction, carries a lot of information of my stories, client stories, even some directives and some tools to help people identify their ego. There's direction in their exercises, prayers, guided meditations. So it's a really a book that is easy reading in the layout, but also in the opportunity for people to get it. I have I know this psychologist who told me, she said, Judy, I read all of Eckhart Tolle's books, and I think Eckhart Tolle has magnificent books. He's very inspirational to me. But she said, when I read your book, I finally got it regarding the ego and how it can destroy our life. And so the focus is really to help people become aware that there is that negative energy that wants to keep them in their pain and suffering, or in their feeling lack of abundance, or in disease.
Right.
And I believe that the soul wants to exist here on this plane of energy in a body that can support it. And when, though, the ego gets in the way, it tells us, and we hold on to it and believe it, that our body is diseased, or that we're going to have a bad day, or if we have some challenge physically that potentially could be handled through nutrition or supplements or an alternative way. Instead of that, they go to fear. People go to fear.
Go to fear, because in your book, you talk about the two emotions that you see, the main emotions. It's either love or it's fear. And all of your low frequency vibrations, or those negative vibrations, they fall under fear. And the happiness and thoughtfulness and thankfulness and gratefulness for whatever your body is showing you, for whatever the situation is showing you, you brought it to you to show you something about you that you want to correct for you, or you want to say that you have corrected that situation within yourself, because it'll show up both ways to let you understand where you are and what you are really doing. And if that is assurance of what it is that you really want to do. So you say the focus, it helps people changes how they operate in the world. And you say they look for the ego identity. So is everybody's different? The identity of the ego that holds them back from moving forward in whatever the situation is, they have to identify that so they can move forward?
Absolutely. Because, see, I believe that before we come onto this earth, we are in God's light. And we're in that beautiful oneness energy of the divine. Then because of choice, I believe, that we choose to reincarnate. We come back here so that the soul can have a continual journey in a challenging space, this dark planet, to move through that and back to the light. But so we grow up from the time we are born, we're just involved, or we are just immersed in this dark energy that is so strong on our planet. So we are raised by egos. Not saying they're bad people, some are, but, they're
right.
egos. They're doing the only thing they know, which was surviving in a very dark, egoic world, and their belief system. So we grow up with that, and then we're out into the world, in school, in churches, or wherever, and again, fear permeates. And so we don't know any better than what we have been taught and shown. But when we awaken to knowing we are so much more than this dark energy, we realize then to move into the light, stay in the light, where we can really feel our personal power and choices coming alive, to heal and so on and so forth. The book is very much to support my private practice as a metaphysician, a medical intuitive, et cetera, et cetera. I work with reprogramming, restructuring DNA and genetic energy physically and emotionally, et cetera. But the first step that when I'm working with a new client is to help them identify the ego, and I supply tools that has been given through Source, directing me how to bring this forward to people, and helping them keep ego out of their life so they can see their way to an abundant, healthy life. If they've come to me with a physical issue, most people, that's when they show up for me. To me, is because their physical issue has gotten so big. But anyways, I teach them to identify the ego so they can keep it. It isn't about killing the ego. No, that's egoic
right.
thought.
Right.
But it is about identifying it and saying no more, get out. And the tools that I teach then are about help keeping that out. Then we can be present right here, right now, connected to the light, to the source, affirming for ourselves and being led by the source into how to move into health and how to stay in health. And I didn't go into, in this book, because I'm working on a second, but I didn't go into this book giving every single dramatic miracle that I've witnessed from this work and from shifting energies and helping people shift their own energies. However, the miracles, some of them can be read about and seen on my website, but it is about, just for the person out there listening today, it's so much the truth what Dr. Wayne Dyer, yes, God rest his soul, I feel the loss of that energy on this planet, yet I know it's around us. He taught, if you change your thoughts, you change your life. I paraphrase because we hear it in many ways, but it is the absolute truth. Yet people are fearful of change.
Right. He was able to do that a great deal when he realized his lymphoma and how he was dealing with that and what he thought about all that. And then he had to change his whole view, his whole approach to healthcare. And it allowed him to live a much stronger, much healthier, much more awakening life. And not have the fear. So you are medical intuition, and so yes, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh no, yes, I am a medical intuitive, and yes, and I've been identified such for about 45 years. That term really wasn't brought forward until Carolyn Mace, who is I call her the guru of medical intuitives. But, she coined the word. Before that, we were known as energy healers and so forth. But that simply is another way to receive more information, right? It's another way I can get information when I'm in a person's body to see what created the presenting problem that they have. What are the underlying thoughts that created it, or the underlying genetics? or the underlying, situations, whatever it may be, so that is what we can shift.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you, when we come back from this commercial break, I would like for you to tell us, in writing this book, through Spirit leading you, how did it transform your life from what you already knew and was living? What greater vision came to you? And then we have some callers on the line. I'm going to see if they want to share something when we come back, and as you share that conversation with us.
Wonderful.
Jamal, can we take a break and let Reverend Judy get some water and take a deep breath? Take that Kundalini breath, family.
Is it time for a new approach to your health care? Are you ready to leave the dark ages of disease care management and pharmaceuticals? If your answer is yes, get ready to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal health care prescription plan with Dr. K. She is a certified lymphologist and Nest healthcare provider, sharing the new science of information as medicine and cellular ecology. Did you know that the field of epigenetics states that you are more than just your genes, and those genes do not control your biology? Yes, that's correct. Schedule a Skype, phone, or office visit with Dr. K and get on board the friendship train to healthcare freedom. 202-248-7749. That's 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, forselllife.com. The number 4, the words sell, CELLLIFE.com.
Oh, yes. Yes. Conscious self-health care. Taking time to retune, to refine, to tune into yourself. Taking your time to go back, to go inward, to trust what you feel, to feel secure in what you feel about yourself. You are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, broadcasting live from downtown Anacostia in Washington, D.C. We are on the airways of Inner Light Radio, and my guest is joining me today. We're having a wonderful conversation with Rev.Judy Miller D. I say D because I can't pronounce her last name, and I'm going to let her do that when she comes back, because I definitely don't want to mess that name up, not at all. We're talking about her book, A Conversion from Mind to Soul. 3 steps to recognizing and bringing forth your soul's desire. And before we went to station break, I was asking you did anything happen to you while you were writing the book?
Well, it did. It was interesting. Thank you for asking me that. In about 2009, I felt 75% finished with the book. However, the last 2 chapters, one is like, who is God? The other is death and dying, kind of, subjects. And which surprised me why I was stuck in those areas, because in my practice, in my work, I've always had a very strong spiritual foundation to my work and was teaching and helping people with grief work, etc. But Source was leading me to the seminary. Now, I had no desires to be a minister, which to me represent having a church, because I've been a spiritual counselor for 25 years and so on and so forth. But as I mentioned earlier, I have learned to listen to guidance. And so I said, okay, fine, you show me the way. And eventually, Source did. And so when I even heard the name of the seminary, I felt as though this is because I have that feeling inside my body where Source is going, listen up, Judy. And so I went online to look at this particular seminary, and I felt totally throughout my body, this is it, this is home. So I applied, I was accepted, and I began the journey, and it was a 2-year journey. It took me to such depths, to my own soul, and even deeper into not only releasing, but into acquiring more connection to God, in my spirituality. It just took me into such an enlightened state that when I was ordained in 2011, in June of that year, in July, because I'm going to back up a second, because when I entered the seminary, Source said, put the book aside until you are ordained. And I thought, okay, because it was a big focus of mine. I thought, all right. And maybe once during this 2-year period of seminary, I thought, what about the book? Should I be doing anything with the book? And I heard, no, wait till you're ordained. All right. And so in July then, the month after ordination, I heard, now go back to the book. Oh my gosh, I was able to complete those last 2 chapters. I went through and really rewrote a lot of things throughout the book because I had changed. And not my total viewpoints, but just even the unknown that I don't know even how to speak of, but I became more centered, more connected to the source, more connected to my soul, more understanding of the teachings, not only that I had received, but even those that I had been giving to others as I would ask Source to speak through me. Source heals people through me. So I can only help people to the level that I am capable of bringing Source through me.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
If I have blocks or negative thoughts, or I can't bring God through because God doesn't come into those areas. I don't feel at all. And so I prepare myself before working with people, and before, just as I did before writing each time within that book, within the manuscript. I prepare myself by getting ego completely away and going to the divine and breathing. You speak a lot of breathing, and yes, being one, being connected. Yeah, you got to get hooked up.
I know. We have a caller that's been holding on for a moment. 615. You want to state your name and where you're calling from? Do you have a comment or a question for Reverend? Caller on 615. Okay. All right. We will just continue with the conversation. And so what do you do at the mystery school?
Well, it is a combination of metaphysical studies. Actually, currently, I'm retired from teaching all the things that I do because I had been teaching them for 25 years and traveled all over the country. Actually, there were over a 5-year period traveling on wellness conference cruises on cruise ships into the Caribbean. So I did that 5 years in a row, and that was delightful as well, bringing my work into that conference arena. But the teachings, which I do, all of the same work that I taught in my I used to teach the medical intuition course and the what I call the DNA series. There's numerous tools within that was the teachings of the work that I do, working with the genetics, with the DNA, with not only, of course, belief systems as well that is held in that mind area by the ego, emotional genetics, those carried by our family down through the generations. I believe around 7 generations, but Native Americans believe that we carry 14 or more generations of belief systems from our ancestors. But nonetheless, that is where our parents, grandparents, etc., all through our bloodline, their thoughts about their family, their relationships, their health, their money, the world in general, how to raise children, every single thing is passed down to us. And I remember when I was younger, I thought, I'm not going to be like these people in my family. However, the older I got, the more I realized that I was carrying so much of the energy of the parents. And so it was not okay. And so using these, tools that are very self-friendly, user-friendly, I was able to clear a lot of that energy out. But yes, the teachings, but I do mentorship as well with clients. So that means that those that are interested in receiving the work that they're interested in learning, I may not be teaching it in the same way, but I kind of handle the situation in a mentorship position as well as their healing and the teachings and so forth. So I have people who have been with me for many years that even contact me to do readings for them for business advice. Or if they have people they may be partnering with in the business realm or in their life in some way, I can access that person's energy and let them know how they would influence my client, how that energy, it's all for the client, so I don't interfere with anyone else's energy or anything. But, guiding, mentoring, assisting, definitely clearing, bringing forth healings for others and myself too.
Because as we do that, we're definitely bringing forth healings for ourselves. Always. So, I'm just thinking, so I'm here and I'm having this situation and I'm listening to what you're saying and I want to identify something. I want to identify the ego, what's blocking me. How do I recognize what it is? Wow. How can I identify? What is one way I can say, oh, that's an ego thought or that's an ego vibration?
Well, first we identify the ego by all of the negative energy we're going to feel, not feeling good, diseases, all of that, anything that doesn't feel good or isn't healthy is going to be from the ego realm. The identification of it then to help others realize, even from the beginning, when a client first comes to me, we have our consultation first, which is a free opportunity to chat with me, ask questions. When they decide to work with me, I ask them to send me a list of information. And that list of information is a conglomerate of their fears, their medical history. And I know I'm a medical intuitive, so why would I ask for the medical history? Well,
it tells about it.
Yeah, they're not paying me to tell them what they already know. They're paying me to help them figure out what created it, what we're going to do about it, and get it shifted and healed. And
what we are going to do about it, That's
right, because I'm helping them learn how to tap into their own self-healing ability.
Relearn and rethink and rewriting. That's my program. Relearn and rethink and rewriting. That's what we have to do. I just want to say, I want to remind people the call-in number, 310-928-7733. That's the call-in number, 310-928-7733. You can also email questions or comments to innerlightradio@yahoo.com. If you're on Facebook, you can also Facebook Brother BRO Jamal, JAMAAL, and we'll take your questions or comments that way too. So, Reverend Judy, tell your last name for me.
Dienst. Dienst, and it's German. That word means service.
Oh, wow. And that's what you are, of service to the community.
That's why I kept it. It was a married name.
Identifying the ego and what is keeping them in place. And so through a series of questions, you determine that information and you help them understand that vibration that they're holding their self in and that they're feeding and that they're giving more life to that instead of giving more life to the cells in their body to help them rejuvenate and bring about a better feeling, a better vibration, a high vibration. Because when you're feeling good, your body feels good, you're in a good frame of thought, your mindset is awesome, is wonderful, and we want to be able to maintain that. So when that ego identity comes up, you want to be able to look at it and tell it, oh, what? Give it a big hug. and tell it to just disappear and create what it is that you really want. So you talk about 3 steps. I know you don't want to give everything away. We want people to go to Amazon.com and get the book, and they also can go to your website, and I guess that would tell them information about how else to get the book.
Well, actually, there's typically more information. I'll give the website, not the website, but the link to where they can go to my e-store for the book. Mm-hmm. First, let me do that, but of course it's www.createspace, all one word, .com. So create, CREATESPACE, createspace.com, and then a / and then the number 4898774. And that will take them immediately to all of the information and the ability to order the book. Okay. Amazon.com, of course, is very common to a lot of people, and usually by putting in my name or putting in the name of the book, they'll be taken right to it. My website really has a lot of information for people to really look through my biography, to see if I feel right to them, and that's what the consultation is for, too, to see if they feel it's a fit for me to help them. But they can read about, and it's set up as though, it's from the old energy of describing what's in the classes. And I haven't taken that information down because that information and all the descriptions of what I was teaching is what I do. So they can read about how the DNA work can benefit them, or how my medical intuitive skills can benefit them. They can read about my beliefs around spirituality, and so on and so on and so on. So that website is, you have to put in the word the, THE, Mystery School, so the Mystery School, all one word, .org.
Okay.
And so from there, too, they're able to connect with me. I usually suggest to people, if they want more information, if they're wanting to have a consult with me, they want to have, which is by appointment only, then they can email me at dnahealer@AOL.com. So DNAHEALER @AOL.com.
Okay.
And I just had a post come up in front of me from the person who had called in saying she's still there and that she didn't think they could hear her. When you asked for the caller?
We couldn't. She probably still had her phone mute. I see some people, her phone is still on mute. And so, okay, so you just shared that information, all the ways that people can reach you. And so we're going to take our last commercial break so we can go straight through and let the caller talk. Yeah. Hear what she has to say. So Jamal, we're going to take a commercial break and then we probably straight to closing the show.
Are you at your wit's end because there seems to be no solution to your healthcare problem? Is it okay for me to say to you that you can have peace of mind? Take back control of your health. Are you experiencing anxiety, arthritis, diabetes, cancer, fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome, any fictitious disease? Whatever your symptoms or diagnoses are, there is a conscious solution to transform the cause of your pain, not treat symptoms or mask it. No prescription medication, no over-the-counter drugs, no organs removed are required. Take back control of your health by the renewing of your mind. You can create wellness today. Contact Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, www.celllife.com.
Oh yes, you are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living with Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, broadcasting live from Washington, D.C. We're having a conversation with Rev.Judy Miller D. We're talking about her book, A Conversion from Mind to Soul. I want to thank you all for tuning in and sharing each week with me. I want to remind you that we are in Washington, D.C. every Saturday from 11 to 12. I'm at the Fort Stanton Park near the Anacostia Community Museum, and we're synthesizing our way to wellness. We're learning how to correct the conditions of our body so that our test results will change, and they would say that you do not have that so-called disease because it was all because of a cumulative of inflammation in your body. And when you learn how to synthesize and learn some cellular ecology, you can take better care of yourself. And we honor you every April 30th on Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day. And April is Conscious Self-Healthcare Awareness Month. We're talking about synthesizing your way to wellness, taking control of your thinking and your thoughts and your actions, and creating the paradigms that you want to create in your life. I think we have a caller still online, 615.
Hi there.
Hi, welcome.
Hi.
You found that mute button and unmuted it. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Technology working for us.
It is, and it's wonderful. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and what would you like to share with us on Heart2Heart?
Hi there. My name is Gabrielle Palmer, and I'm calling from Columbus, Ohio. And I'm calling, I feel more like I have to testify to the greatness of this woman with whom you are speaking, Reverend Judy. I've been working with Rev. Judy for 8, almost 9 years, and I have read her book. If you could see my copy of this book, it is tattered and wrinkled and bent, and I carry it with me, and it is truly, I feel as though Judy has changed my life, and this body of work, start to finish, is it's a blueprint for truly changing your life step by step, shift of consciousness and awareness. When I started working with Judy, I was in a true state of ego, a true state of living in fear as a result of Western medicine and medication and hospitalizations, and it had taken me from vibrating at a high energy to just lowest of the low. And Judy truly saved my life, the process that I've gone through with her. She's amazing. But I feel like I need to say, not only she saved my life, but I need to testify to the fact, and this has been backed up by medical professionals, she has saved my 4-year-old son's life. When my son was just a little over a year old, we had him at the family physician, and his doctor heard a heart murmur. From there, we went to a cardiologist, and he had EKG, echo, blood work, full workup, and they found left ventricular hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. In more simple terms, it is the condition you've heard of children collapsing and dying on sports fields. Right. Just dropping over. That is what my son was diagnosed with. I immediately, as soon as I walked out of the door, I immediately called Judy. And Judy started working on my baby. And she said, it's not, this isn't going to happen overnight. This is going to take time. And at his 6-month follow-up, EKG still showed the LVH. Echo did not show it. His echo never showed it. 6 months later, the EKG still showed LVH. Echo didn't show it. The doctors could not explain it. Flash forward 3.5 years to our last visit with the cardiologist.
Mm-hmm.
No LVH on the EKG, no LVH on the echo. It was gone. She brought in 2 other cardiologists. My husband is also a physician. The 4 of them sat in a room talking to each other, in doctor speak. They had no explanation. They had never seen it before. They had never seen LVH reverse completely. Not only was it no longer on the EKG, and it was pronounced to the point where they fully anticipated our next visit for the thickening to begin showing up on his echo. It never happened. Not only did it not happen, it totally went away. And the cardiologist, she's a specialist, she's one of the top in the state of Ohio. She deals with this on a daily basis. She said, I have no explanation for this change. In all of my years practicing as a cardiologist, I have never seen this happen.
And what did you say to her?
And I told her,
because you knew what happened. You understood what happened.
I did. I knew what happened. Knew. My husband, who has always looked at me kind of sideways, when I talk about metaphysical work, metaphysical healing. He's a Western medicine doctor. He's always kind of looks at me like, yeah, pat me on the head, whatever, if it makes you happy. But he saw this, and he has seen how the work with Judy has changed me from, oh my gosh, we need a whole show to dedicate to that, but changed me profoundly. And then he saw how Judy's work literally changed my son's heart.
I think Mom had a lot to do with that too, right, Reverend?
And
Rev.Judy.
He believes. He believes, Dr. K. He believes in Judy now. He asks me questions about Judy's work all the time now. Changing one physician's thought process can begin the ball rolling.
We have to honor your husband. We can't say his name, but we honor him so much.
Yes, we have to infiltrate the Western medicine. We infiltrate.
Time goes by so fast. And I wish you had been able to unmute. We're coming so close up on the hour, but I feel this energy already from Rev.Judy. I met her through Facebook because of a post where she had written down how she had tried to work with her brother and her sister, her brother, and the family members didn't want it to be. And she wrote something. I was like, oh, can you come on my show and talk about that? And Rev.Judy, we didn't get to that. So I got to have you back on so we can get this whole story going. And so you can have a real good response and to what our guest has just said, because we're so close to closing the show. But I want you to be able to say something to what she just shared with us. How did you feel about that, Rev.Judy, when the light switch came on for some Western doctors?
Oh, I'm always excited. So many Western doctors and nurses have come to my training through the years, and so I'm always happy when they are awakening. And as Gabrielle would share with me, how her husband was, she heard these doctors saying these things, and her husband, the doctor, right there too. And I'm delighted, that that this has been done for them. I'm in such heart-filled gratitude that God brings that work through me to help these beautiful souls. And that's what I'm here for. I am
too. So, Gabrielle, I'm just like, that environment got clean, the frequencies was clear, the new information came down, that entanglement of quantum energy, and that's just that Just that knowing thought, because it's beyond positive, is what you're talking about, Rev, when you talk about, that the soul of the matter, the soul of what's going on, when you reach that soul. And so it's inspiring to let people know that this is going to be a book that is not just a read. It's going to transform you while you're reading this book, and it's very easy for you to read and find the ego identity and know how to shift that vibration and shift that energy to make you be in the alignment that you want to be in. So, Reverend Judy Miller, you want to have some closing words, and then we'll let Gabrielle close out as well.
Oh yes, I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be out on the airwaves of bringing light, bringing hope, bringing some answers maybe, and being present for people that would like to receive a different way, to learn a different way to of viewing their body, a different way of experiencing their life. I'm here. I'm available. I think I'm going to, like Wayne Dyer, work until the day I die.
Hey,
the service work,
That's
it's beautiful. So I'm grateful to my clients. I'm grateful to my students. I'm so grateful that Gabrielle shared their story, and I'm just in complete gratitude to you, Dr. K, for inviting me and supporting me. And I just send love and light and healing blessings out into the world.
So Gabrielle, can I say that Reverend Judy helped you identify what your soul wanted?
Oh, Dr. K, she has, my work with her put me on the path of my soul's true purpose, and that was to get myself together, meet my husband, and have the two beautiful children that I have, that I truly think without her I would not have been able to move forward with those steps in my life. And she's a beautiful person, and she's a powerful healer, and she's an amazing writer. And I would encourage all of your listeners to reach out to her at themysteryschool.org or email her directly at dnahealer@aol.com. She will change your life.
She sure will, because that vibration.
Hire her.
No, that vibration, that energy, and that's true. And I've only known you and had 3 or 4 conversations with you, and we just can't seem to get off the telephone. And I understand why, and I know that vibration. And so I do the work that I do. I'm where I'm at, but I am looking forward to seeing what this book, because energy is telling me. I'll be honest, I don't read a lot of books. I skim a lot of books, but I'm getting a vibration from this call that's telling me to actually take a moment and consider this as one of the books that I will read through, because I'm being told to do that. And I always listen to guidance and what it is for me to do. So I know that I am going to be reading this book. I do know that you're going to be back. And, it's an opportunity that this book just may be the winner, the best book awards in the spiritual and inspirational category on, is that for Amazon.com?
No, it is for the U.S. Books News Award for 2015. I've been nominated, and I'm so happy to say they're going to announce the winner in November. So I'm keeping my fingers and my eyes crossed.
Okay, so we're going to have you back on, hopefully before November, because I do want to share some more information with individuals that you do have and how you supported some other individuals so they can better assist themselves. So, and we definitely have you back on when you become the best seller in that category in November. Gabrielle, thank you so much for sharing that enlightening story. You not only cover for individuals, but you also gave hope for the Western medical doctors now.
Yeah. Thank you so
Miracles
much.
can happen every day, because they're not miracles when you trust in your divine self. You understand how the physical body works. your responsibility to keeping it in what we call the vacuum state so it can receive all the good information, all the good nutrition, and advance your mind awareness into your soul self so you can always vibrate at a high frequency and feeling good. We recognize the energy of the negativity. It helps us be more aware of who we really are. But let's not stay there. Let's not bury ourselves there. Let's be able to make a choice, to make a change, to be adaptive, like the body is adaptive. Thank you so much for tuning in to Heart2Heart Healthy Living. Thank you, Gabrielle. Thank you, Rev.Judy, Melody. I love your vibration. Thank you for what you're doing to the world. Thank y'all for tuning in to Heart2Heart. See you next Tuesday. Love yourself because I love you.
I love you. God bless.
Could you be loved? Oh, now. And be loved. Don't let them